It looks like we're gonna actually get a live-action Miles Morales movie, but not in the way that any of us wanted it to happen. Let me explain. This report is coming from the Cosmic Circus, who is another insider or leaker, and as you guys know, I always say to take these things with a grain of salt. They get a lot of things wrong, but the Cosmic Circus actually has gotten a lot of things right in the past. They are very reputable. As you can see, this was in 2021, a full year before the release of Wakanda Forever. They said that it's going to introduce T'Challa's son, which obviously did end up happening in the post-credit scene. This one's in Spanish, but this is a full 2 years before Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 came out, where they said that Will Poulter is going to be Adam Warlock in the MCU. This was on October 9th, 2021. Literally a couple days later, James Gunn officially came out and made the announcement, so this person clearly has some inside connections. They also confirmed that the Insomniac Spider-Man will make a cameo in Across the Spider-Verse. So now comes their newest report, which says that a live-action Miles Morales will be set in a rebooted Sony universe that will be established after Avengers Secret Wars. So during a Q&A that the Cosmic Circus did, someone asked them that if now that the Young Avengers is going to be named the Champions as a Disney Plus series instead, does that mean that the lineup will now combine and include the likes of Riri Williams, who is Ironheart, Miles Morales, and Sam Alexander in the already overcrowded Young Avengers team? They responded by saying that Champions is a better fit for the name of the Young Avengers because most of the heroes on that team right now are going to be in college or older than their comic counterparts when they first started, which yeah, does make sense, especially like Kate Bishop. Haley Steinfeld's going to be like 35 by the time this movie's made. Exaggerating a little bit, but she is already 28. She'll probably be at least 30 playing a young Avenger in Kate Bishop. The person goes on to kind of confirm that both Ironheart and Kamala Khan, obviously Miss Marvel, will be joining this new Champions lineup, but no, Miles will not be a part of the Champions lineup, and neither will Nova. And they state the reason why is, like I just said, that the Miles is apparently going to be in the new rebooted Sony universe taking place after Secret Wars. And I'm honestly very conflicted about this because it seems like the MCU has kind of been planting seeds and kind of alluding to the fact that we are going to eventually see Miles Morales. We saw his Uncle Aaron in Spider-Man Homecoming. Tom Holland in interviews has talked about how he'd love to have Miles Morales join him in live action down the line and be like a mentor role, but it seems like Sony has plans of their own. But the thing is, this might actually not be as terrible as we think because yeah, the Sony movies outside of the first Venom are all pretty terrible, but the big unanimous complaint about them is that it just makes no sense for these characters to have a movie without their own Spider-Man. Obviously, just throwing in Spider-Man into a movie, whether it's Miles Morales or a different Peter Parker, isn't going to magically make the writing and production of these Sony movies any better, but it would definitely help a lot, especially because we were dealing with characters like Morbius and Kraven the Hunter that are kind of on like the B and C tier list of popularity in the Marvel universe, and they're giving them solo movies. Like, these are not that interesting of characters on their own. They need Spider-Man in the projects. I do also worry a little bit with this coming out after a reboot apparently and a new universe spawning from Secret Wars in 2027, because we also know likely in 2027 or 2028 is when we're going to see the final Beyond the Spider-Verse movie. Yeah, obviously these movies are incredible compared to the Sony villain movies because Phil Lord and Christopher Miller are absolutely incredible and geniuses with this story and the animation that's taking place. But the thing is, Sony still has the ultimate say in what happens. They could literally make Miles from this universe transition into live action, which in my opinion would just completely take away from this amazing trilogy that it's seeing set up to be. Like any other studio, I wouldn't really worry about this being a possibility, but we've seen Sony literally just wants to attach to things that are already working and popular, like Spider-Man No Way Home. They're like, hey, let us put our Spider-Man in that movie. And hey, let's do it again in Spider-Man 4. Maybe you should put Nolan Spider-Man 4 as a villain. Like, they just want to jam in their terrible stuff into things that are already working. It seems pretty realistic that they could see how successful the Miles Morales Spider-Verse movies are and being like, hey, we're just going to take this guy and put him into our live action new universe. Probably end up making like another Venom movie with him. Obviously, we probably get their own new version of the Prowler. I don't know if they'd also take Donald Glover from the MCU that we've already seen and just put him in here, because as we know, these superhero universes are all kind of a super mess now with the multiverse. Personally, I'd much rather see Miles Morales come into the MCU in like Spider-Man 5 or 6. He's kind of mentored by Tom Holland's Spider-Man, and then eventually when Tom Holland's Spider-Man retires, we get to see whoever plays Miles Morales take on the main mantle in the MCU over him having his own Sony universe. But let me know what you think in the comments below. And if you want to know the latest about when Beyond the Spider-Verse is likely going to be releasing, click the video above my head now where I go over some official news we got straight from one of the actors that gives us a pretty good window into when the movie's going to finally be releasing.